Hello and welcome gamers to the Halo Clan community channel. I would like to thank Kurt in advance for letting me post this video. If you haven't noticed, my helmet is different from what it normally is. It's noteworthy because in the past, whenever this helmet went on, someone's day was about to get wrecked. But I will strive to keep this video more low-key than my past while still maintaining my point. If you haven't seen Kurt's 52-second update on what happened over the events with me and Dividable, this video is basically going to be explaining the whole scenario in full and just kind of go over all that. Whereby Dividable ends up challenging me to a debate and then backing out. Okay, so a while back someone was hitting my vids with a legit dislike bot, by which I was actually receiving more dislikes than I was views. And I had just posted an interview with someone while conversing with Shadow Director of Shield of Shadows, to which I mentioned how I was getting dislikes before I got a single view, which didn't really bother me, as dislikes and likes don't do anything for the video or the channel or even Google AdSense. They don't have anything to do with any of that. He replied it must be someone who is jealous. I posted that the only person would be Dividable, because no one's really jealous of me, and that I knew what was going on with HaloClanFollowers as followers. Dividable went because he had mentioned that they were also getting hit with dislike, and well, Dividable's ticked off quite a few people, and that's why he was getting dislikes. It's only bound to happen with all the people in the community that he's going to get hit with dislike bots eventually. Anyways, so to which pretty much I immediately dismissed my grounds on Dividable being the person who's hitting me with a dislike bot. And we went on to name some trolls in the community, which will be blacked out in the pictures, just to not give the trolls the attention that they want. And this is virtually the end of the story. Up until about a week later, Dividable messaged me telling me that his channel was receiving more dislikes than me, which, I don't care. But here's the interesting part. Highlighted in purple, he claims me to be copying his series in which he interviews people. And he claims to be famous in this, which, I find funny because he has like around 500 subs, which is famous by no means. And secondly, before I started doing interviews on my channel, I've been doing interviews with my brother outside of the Halo thing and in the real world at conventions, and we've been interviewing famous people. And the only reason I really started to do the interviews within this community is because my brother's kind of a choke artist, and I wanted to show him how easy interviews were actually able to do. And okay, so I've done interviews as the camera guy with Larry Thomas, aka the Soup Nazi, Terrence Muncie, the featured twisted artist for ICP, Domino from WWE, John Borowski, a book writer and documentary maker who specializes in serial killers, who is currently working on a documentary about someone who only paints in blood. And like I said, my brother's a choke artist, and I wanted to show him how to do these interviews. And that's the reason I really started doing it in this community. And the way you guys can link me into these videos is by this video right here, Star Wars Bad Acting. And you can see me there fist bumping a stormtrooper. Why am I telling you this? Because these videos took place over a month before I started doing interviews on my own channel, which makes the argument of me copying videos from him invalid. But don't think that I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to actually go into detail on some of this stuff. After that, he posts this video named Watch Before You Dislike, in which he accuses me of piggybacking off of his channel, basically copying. And in this, he mentions my channel by name, so I decided to call him out on this scenario, and this sparked an argument, which I must admit, I did get something wrong in the first comment, which is important, but it'll be added to the end of the video. So just bear with me on this. And I added leave Benny alone to the end because, I mean, honestly, dude, you're making a video about people disliking your videos. I mean, could you be more fatuous? And before you commenters start typing away in the comments section, going, really, you're making a video about someone who made a video about their disliking? No, I'm not making a video about that. I'm making a video about someone who likes to lie and throw out false accusations. But I'll get to the lying part here in a minute. Okay, soon dividable replies with this comment. The ones in gray are either sarcasm or points that are relevant to the argument. So let's skip the first two statements he made and go straight to number 3 in blue. I had made no previous statement of this before him, so he's trying to divert my attention, and we'll get to that here in the next comment. But let's go to number 4, which diverts back to the conversation stated, which Shadow and I had, and it states that someone has it out for my channel. I don't really care about dislikes. The only purpose of them is to falsely measure one's self-worth. I was just wondering who had it out for my channel. So let's scuttle down to number 5, where he states that he did not accuse me of copying him, but that immediately collapses on itself on the fact that he says he accused me of doing the interview series similar to his because he claimed I had seen how well his were doing. So that's, pretty much the definition of copying, which I can confidently say is, a roundabout way of saying copy. Plus, let's not forget about the Facebook message, which he clearly accuses me of copying him, which makes me laugh every time I look at it. Anyways, so let's get back to statement 3, which I had made no comment to this statement about yet. I did deny a content creator, if you can call a graphic designer a content creator, as they only add little things to the channel like art, profile art, thumbnails, which I can do all myself. And at that point in time, I was not accepting content creators. So therefore, your statement's kind of void there, bud. Because, I'm not going off and accepting content creators just on that basis. The only content creators I'm accepting is video makers. And so, on the terms, I wasn't accepting them at the time, and it wasn't in the right category. Can't really say I was denying content creators, but I was considering content creators for my channel at the time. But since he decided to bring it up, I decided to mention the denial of Kurt, which leads down to the blue and into the red. Red highlights have to do with the decline of Kurt in completely biased terms, to which leads into photos Kurt had sent me the moment he was denied. And as you can clearly see here, that Kurt was denied, and one of the reasons that Dividable gave was because he had a lot of hate against him. Later comments he state he's not being biased, but we got a word for people who take sides of disputes, or in this case, just because hate, and that word is called biased. And I'm calling you out on it, because you're clearly lying about being unbiased for the community. So let's move on to the next point. In this comment, that which is highlighted in pink warns against the blue helmet vid such as this would be made if agitated, and which I clearly am agitated. Although I have to admit, I had all these pics and files ready for the debate. So we pretty much covered comments 4 and 5 with him saying that he wasn't amused, but he's clearly saying that I was copying, and Dividable saying he didn't want to sound like a dick, so he gave Kurt reasons. Well, which sounds less like a dick, saying, oh, we have too many content creators, or people hate you, so we're not going to let you in. So let's jump down to comments 6 and 7. Okay, first I address his claims of copying and his biasness towards Kurt, as explained to you guys thus far. But since he decided to bring up a conversation that would involve Kurt anyways, I decided to bring up that he had planned to bot his channel. And here's his message to Kurt in green right after he denied Kurt to his channel, stating that he still wanted the bots, to which he immediately denies this in the next comment. And everyone here can clearly see this is a lie. And he clearly states that he wants bots. Then let's move back to the part where he openly admits hate was one of the deciding factors in which he denied Kurt. Then once again in purple, he states that I wanted to piggyback off his success, and then I call him out on his lies against Kurt and follow with some sarcasm and some irrelevant topics in earlier comments. He then not only challenges me to a debate over Skype, and then he's wanting to let the community decide which one wins, I suppose. And I waited for right around 4 hours for him to show up to this, even though he said he would be there in an hour. And his excuse was that he bought a car. Now, I get that he's a teenager, but I just think that's a little bit unlikely, and I would just like to say thanks for wasting my time. We then rescheduled the debate for the next day. Then this asshole decides he wants to further waste my time by backing out of the debate. Now, I warned you this would happen. If I lose my composure, I was going to win this argument with or without you. So yeah.
Post out like a bitch!
And what makes all of this relevant? He makes claims of dislike botting, yet he clearly wanted to get bots for his channel. He claims to be unbiased against Kurt, yet he's obviously lying about that as well. And that brings me to my final conclusive point. Remember at the beginning when I said I got something wrong with the first comment? Well, that was the name of a video in which was named the launch recruitment videos wanted HaloClanFollowers. In that, he states that he wanted to make his channel more like a community hub and start doing stuff like Clan of the Day. Now, I've looked everywhere on YouTube, and there is no other Clan of the Day other than my channel. And you guys can go check that out if you want. It's 2 minutes and 38 seconds in. And this predates any of my clan leader interviews, which means I didn't copy you, you copied me. Which kind of makes you wonder about his overall credibility. Is this really what the community wants as a head? Someone who is willing to lie to your face just to make himself look good. This is something we should all think about. And really, dude, you made a video called Watch Before You Dislike and uploaded it to the internet. So, in honor of this video, I want everyone who watched this video to go and dislike all of his vids. Hell, instead of showing your appreciation of this vid by liking it, I encourage everyone to dislike this vid to show your support. Thanks. And remember, people,
Live British!